The academy was silent, the air was heavy with fear. Dozens of young alien students sat in a wide hall, their eyes fixed on the giant doors at the front. They had been told that today would be a lesson like no other. Today they would meet a beast, some whispered among themselves, their voices shaky. They say the beast comes from a world where even soldiers are afraid to step, one lizard-like student said, his scales trembling. Another student with silver skin replied, "This is a test of courage. Those who survive will be respected." At the corner of the hall, a single human sat quietly. Her name was kept simple by the others. They just called her Lena. She was small compared to the towering alien students around her, but her calm face stood out. While others bit their claws or shifted nervously, Lena only sat straight. Suddenly, the doors began to move. The loud creaking sound echoed through the hall. Hearts raced. Some students leaned back in fear. Even the instructors kept their eyes sharp. Everyone had heard the stories of the beast, but few had seen it alive. The doors opened fully, and the beast entered. Its shadow alone made the hall darker. Its body was massive, covered in thick armor-like skin. Claws scraped against the floor, and glowing yellow eyes searched the room. The roar that followed shook the walls. It was not just a sound, it was a warning of death. Several students screamed and fell to the floor. One even ran toward the back, hoping to escape, but the instructors blocked the way. "Face it," they shouted. "There is no running today." The beast moved forward, its head swinging from side to side, sniffing the air. It wanted fear, it wanted weakness. Every alien student trembled. Some tried to look brave, but their bodies betrayed them. Then its eyes stopped. They locked on Lena, the small human girl sitting without fear. The beast growled low, a sound that promised attack. The whole hall froze. Every student thought they were about to watch the human torn apart. But Lena did not move. She raised her head and met the beast's gaze, her eyes calm, steady, without panic. Time seemed to slow. The beast blinked once, then again. Its steps slowed, its claws lowered to the floor. The alien students gasped. One whispered, "Why is it stopping?" Another shouted, "Attack! It should attack." But the beast did not move forward. Instead, it took a step back. Its roar died in its throat. It lowered its head slightly as if unsure. The instructors were shocked. "This creature has never shown hesitation," one said. "Why does it refuse?" Lena kept staring, not speaking, not flinching. She was not smiling, not mocking, just calm. Her steady gaze alone seemed to control the monster. Suspense filled the room. The silence was louder than the roar had been. Students held their breath, waiting for the moment when the beast would finally leap, but it did not. Instead, it turned its head away from Lena, backing one step further. This was not how the lesson was meant to go. The instructors had wanted the beast to terrify everyone, to prove who was strong, but now the beast itself looked afraid. "What is this?" muttered an alien commander, his voice low but full of anger. "How can a human child make a predator back down?" Rumors began to spread in the hall at once. "Did you see it? The beast is scared of her. Humans must be dangerous." But Lena stayed quiet. She gave no answer, no explanation. She only held her gaze on the beast until it finally crouched down, almost like bowing. The instructors called out in rage. "Make it fight," they ordered. But the beast ignored them. Its eyes kept lowering each time Lena looked. In that moment, the hall was divided. Some alien students now looked at Lena with fear, others with jello. You see, and a few with something like respect, but all of them understood one thing. The human was not like the rest of them. The beast, meant to terrify, had retreated before a single human gaze. The hall stayed frozen in silence. The beast stood still, its head lowered, and all the alien students could not believe what they were seeing. This was supposed to be a lesson in fear, yet it had turned into something else. The academy master stepped forward, his long cloak dragging across the floor. His voice was cold. "Why does the beast not attack?" he demanded. "This creature has killed squads before. It has crushed soldiers in training arenas. Why does it hesitate now?" The handlers of the beast looked nervous. One of them whispered, "It listens to no one. It fears nothing. But now it looks like it has found its master." The alien students began whispering louder, their voices filling the room like buzzing insects. "Did you see her eyes?" one said. "They are not normal," another argued. "Maybe humans use tricks. Maybe they are cheating. But Lena, the human girl, did not speak. Her calm stare remained locked on the beast. She did not blink, she did not flinch, and the beast only crouched lower. Suddenly, the Academy Master shouted, "Make it attack, force it!" The handlers lifted sharp rods glowing with energy. They jabbed at the beast, sparks flying as pain shot into its body. The beast roared again, louder this time, shaking the walls. Students covered their ears, some screamed. Everyone expected it to turn its rage on Lena, but it did not. The beast twisted, slammed its claws into the floor, but its eyes never left the human, and slowly, painfully, it lowered its head again. The crowd gasped. A predator had bowed to a human child. The Academy Master's face darkened. "This is impossible," he hissed. "No beast bows, no predator kneels, not unless it knows death is certain." The students stared at Lena differently now. Before they had thought of humans as weak, strange creatures from a wild planet. But now fear was mixing with curiosity, if one gaze could. To stop a monster, what else could a human do? The beast's chest rumbled, not with a roar but with a low sound almost like submission. The sound carried across the hall, unsettling everyone who heard it. Even the strongest alien students felt their spines chill. Lena finally spoke, her voice soft but clear enough to be heard by all. "It knows," she said. The words were simple, but they carried weight. "Knows what?" one alien shouted, his voice high with panic. "It knows I am not prey," Lena answered. Those words echoed in every mind, not prey, in a galaxy built on predator and prey. This was not a claim, it was a declaration. The beast stayed crouched, refusing to rise, its body shaking as if under invisible chains, and all because of one human gaze. The Academy Master turned in anger. "Remove this creature. Bring another, stronger, one that will crush this human and end this madness," he ordered. Guards rushed in, pulling the beast away with heavy chains. The monster resisted at first, but when it passed by Lena, it lowered its eyes again, refusing to look directly at her. The students could not forget what they had just seen. Whispers grew like fire in dry grass. "Humans are dangerous. No creature bows without reason. We should fear them." But some thought differently. Some looked at Lena with a strange respect. If a human could tame a beast with a glance, maybe humanity was not weak at all. Maybe they were something far worse. The lesson was over. But no one left the hall calm. The mystery of humans had just deepened, and the galaxy was about to learn a truth it was not ready for. The Academy did not sleep that night. News spread faster than fire through dry grass. The story of the beast that bowed to a human was whispered in every hall, every corridor, every chamber. Alien students who had laughed at humans before now kept their distance. Some stared, and with wide eyes filled with fear. Others clenched their fists in anger. "This is not right," one growled. "Humans are supposed to be fragile," another hissed. "If a beast can be tamed by a stare, then what are humans hiding?" The instructors gathered in secret chambers, their voices sharp with worry. "The council will demand answers," one said. "They sent that beast to test courage, not to expose hidden human power," another spat. "This is dangerous. If other species hear of this, they will start asking questions we cannot answer." In the training hall, Lena walked silently. She did not seek attention. She did not boast. But no matter where she went, eyes followed her. Fear followed her. Respect followed her. One alien student, tall and proud, stepped in her path, his skin like dark metal, his voice filled with rage. "What trick did you use?" he demanded. "No beast fears a child." Lena met his glare with silence, her calm eyes unshaken. The tall alien felt a shiver crawl down his back. He stepped aside without meaning to, his pride broken in front of the others. Rumors turned to legends in a single day. Old stories surfaced, stories long ignored. "I heard humans once lived on a world where predators ruled the skies and oceans," one student whispered. "Their eyes evolved to stop creatures from attacking," another added. "Some predators recognize strength not by claws but by spirit." The Academy Masters tried to silence the talk, but whispers cannot be killed. They grew louder, and soon even the instructors avoided meeting Lena's gaze for too long. The council demanded another trial, stronger this time. "We will see if this human trick can stand against true monsters." The order was clear. 2 new beasts were brought in, larger, faster, deadlier, their bodies marked with scars from countless kills, chains strained as they fought against handlers. Their roars filled the chamber with pure terror. Students clutched their desks, instructors stood ready to flee. Lena entered the hall again, quiet, calm, her footsteps soft against the floor. The beasts snapped their jaws, their saliva sizzling like acid on the stone. They lunged forward, but before they could strike, Lena looked up. Her eyes met theirs, and everything stopped. The beasts froze mid-step, their muscles shaking, their claws digging into the ground, but they would not move closer. Instead, their growls faded into low whimpers, their heads lowered just as the first beast had done. Shock ripped through the chamber. The students gasped. Some screamed. Others fell silent in terror. "Impossible!" the academy master shouted, slamming his staff on the floor. "No human can command monsters." But the truth was in front of them. 2 apex predators bowed to a human child. One alien whispered the words that spread like fire. "They are not prey." The phrase echoed in every corner. Not prey, not weak, not simple, but something else, something dangerous. For the first time, aliens began to see humans not as fragile creatures from a wild planet, but as beings carrying a hidden force, a force that even predators could sense. And Lena stood there, silent, not smiling, not proud, only calm. Her eyes still locked on the beasts. The galaxy had just taken its first step toward fear, and it had started with a single human gaze. The council chamber was filled with noise. Leaders from many species argued loudly, their voices rising like storms. "This cannot be ignored," one shouted. 2 beasts bowed to a human child. Another hissed, "If word spreads, it will shake the galaxy." The academy master stood in the center, his face pale. "I assure you, counselors, it was only a strange accident," he said. But even he did not believe his own words. "Accidents do not repeat," one counselor snapped, slamming his claw against the table. The beast bowed once, then twice, and both times. "To a human, this is no accident, this is a truth." The order was clear. Investigate, find out what made humans different, uncover what power they carried inside. Lena was taken to a private chamber surrounded by guards. They did not threaten her, but their fear was clear. Even armed soldiers avoided her eyes. She sat quietly, waiting, as if she already knew what would happen next. Alien scientists came, their instruments glowing. They scanned her body, her eyes, her brain. They expected to find a secret organ, a hidden weapon. But what they found was ordinary. Her body was human. Fragile bones, soft skin, no claws, no fangs, no hidden weapons. Yet the beasts had bowed, the scientists argued. "There must be something unseen, something in her presence," one muttered. "Perhaps a signal, a hidden energy." But no device detected anything. An old scholar entered the room, his body weak, his voice soft. "You will not find answers in machines," he said. "The answer is in history, in the old records of Earth." The council allowed him to speak, and his words changed the air in the room. "Earth is not like other worlds," he said. "On Earth, humans lived among predators for millions of years. Not simple predators, but killers, creatures with teeth longer than arms. Beasts that could crush bones with one strike." The chamber grew silent, every leader listening. To survive, humans did not grow claws. They did not grow armor. They grew eyes. They grew presence. Predators learned that a human stare meant danger. Even when the human held no weapon, the beast sensed something deeper, something primal. The scholar's voice shook as he continued. "This is not power of muscle. This is the power of spirit, and spirit can break even monsters." The council whispered in fear. Some refused to believe. "Old myths," one scoffed. "Nothing more." But others felt the truth. They had seen the beasts kneel. No myth could fake that. In the academy, rumors spread faster. Students now looked at Lena as if she carried fire. Some hated her, some feared. A few admired her, but none dared to face her eyes. The instructors grew restless. They feared losing control, so they planned a new trial. Not with one beast, not with 2, but with something greater. "If she can control monsters," one instructor growled, "then let her face the predator that no one has ever tamed." Preparations began in secret, chains forged, cages built stronger than walls. In the dark pits of the academy, a roar echoed, deeper, louder, filled with hunger. The galaxy thought they knew humans, but part by part, their belief was breaking, and soon they would see something that would shake them even more. And Lena, the quiet human, waited with calm eyes, as if she already knew that the galaxy's fear was only beginning. The academy prepared in secret. Shadows moved through the night. Soldiers carried heavy chains that glowed with energy. Guards whispered nervously as the ground trembled under their feet. Something was being moved from the deep pits, something no student had ever seen before. In the morning, the hall was packed, every seat filled with alien students, instructors, and even counselors who had come to watch. The tension was sharp in the air. The walls seemed to shake with the roars coming from behind the gates. Lena walked calmly to her place. She did not look afraid. Her steps were slow, steady, as if she was going to meet a friend and not a monster. This only made the crowd more uneasy. Some aliens hissed, "She is too calm." Others muttered, "No one should walk like that before facing death." The academy master raised his staff. His voice thundered. "Today the truth will be revealed. Today we will see if humans truly hold power or if it was only a trick." The gates opened, and from the darkness stepped not one but three beasts, larger than the ones before, their bodies scarred, their jaws dripping with venom, their eyes burning with hunger. The chains cracked as they were released. The ground shook as they roared together. Students screamed, some fainted, even instructors took a step back. But Lena stood where she was, her face calm, her eyes sharp. The beasts charged, claws cutting the stone, teeth bared to kill. The sound was thunder, the smell was blood, but before they could leap, Lena looked up. Her gaze cut through the chaos like a blade, and everything stopped. The beasts froze mid-charge, their jaws still open, their claws inches from striking. The entire hall went silent. The only sound was the heavy breathing of the monsters. And then slowly, one by one, they lowered their heads. Their roars turned into whimpers, their bodies trembling like leaves before a storm. The crowd could not believe it. Gasps echoed. One alien cried out, "No, this cannot be." Another whispered, "They bow again." All three predators bent their heads to the human child, their massive bodies crouching low as if before a ruler. The academy master's hands shook, rage and fear mixed in his eyes. "Enough," he shouted. "This is not natural. This is not power. This is corruption." But no one listened, because what they saw was undeniable. Lena finally spoke, her voice soft but strong. "They know," she said. "They know what all of you refuse to see. Humans are not prey." Her words rang through the hall like thunder. Not prey, not weak, not fragile, but something different, something untouchable. Panic spread. Some students screamed to leave, others stared at her with awe. A few even bowed their heads slightly, afraid to meet her gaze. The counselors exchanged fearful looks. If a child could tame predators, what could a human army do? What could a world of humans unleash? The beasts crawled back to the shadows, still whimpering, still bowing their heads. They would not harm her. They could not harm her. And in that moment, the galaxy's image of humanity cracked. The balance of predator and prey was broken, and the secret of human spirit began to shine like fire in the dark. News of the humans spread like wildfire across the stars. Whispers carried from academy halls to distant stations, from soldiers' barracks to council chambers. The tale of beasts bowing before a child was no longer rumor. It was a storm that no one could contain. On the trading moons, merchants spoke in fear. If humans can tame monsters with eyes, what can they do to us? On distant colonies, children whispered stories of a girl who stared at death and made it kneel. And on warships patrolling the void, captains looked at their human crew with new unease. The Galactic Council gathered in emergency session, their chamber vast, filled with voices of 100 species. The debate was chaos, one shouted. "Humans are too dangerous. They must be banned from the academies," another hissed. "No, they must be studied. Their power can be useful." A third voice trembled. "Or they must be destroyed before they rise." Fear spread like poison. The academy master stood before the council, sweat running down his face. "I warned you," he said. "This was no accident. The beasts obeyed her because of something deep inside humans, something we do not understand." The old scholar who had spoken before rose again, his frail voice cutting through the noise. "It is not new. It is ancient on Earth. Predators learned not to challenge human eyes. They sense spirits stronger than flesh. It is not trick, it is nature. The chamber fell silent. Many counselors stared at one another with dread. If this was true, then humans were not just another species. They were something older, something primal. Back at the academy, Lena walked through the corridors in silence. The students moved aside without being told. No one dared block her path. Some lowered their eyes, afraid of catching her gaze. Others whispered as she passed. Said, not pray, but not all were silent. A group of alien students filled with pride and anger gathered in secret. We cannot allow this, one said, his eyes burning. If humans rise, our species will fall, another hissed. We must challenge her, prove this power is not real. The tension grew, not just in the academy but across the galaxy. Leaders made plans, armies whispered. Some wanted humans as allies, others feared them as enemies, and in the shadows, spies carried messages to empires. The humans have power, they wrote, and if they stand together, nothing will bow them down. The council finally made a decision, one last test, one final proof. If humans truly carried this spirit, they would face the most dangerous predator the galaxy had ever captured. Preparations began, cages reinforced with fields of energy, chains thicker than towers, soldiers trembling as they worked. In the deepest pit of the academy, a roar echoed that shook the ground like thunder. The monster chained there had never been tamed, never been defeated. The counselors whispered, "This will end the myth." But their voices trembled, because even they were not sure. Lena sat alone in her chamber, calm as always, her eyes fixed on the stars beyond the window. She did not smile. She did not frown. She simply waited, as if she knew the galaxy itself was preparing to bow. The arena was larger than any before, walls reinforced with energy fields that glowed like suns. The seats filled with thousands of alien students, instructors, and counselors, all had come to witness the last trial. The air was heavy, every breath carried fear, chains rattled from the deepest pit, and the roar that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever heard. It was not sound, it was force. A wave of terror that made hearts stop. Even the bravest soldiers trembled. Some dropped their weapons, their hands shaking uncontrollably. Lie! The gates opened, and the monster stepped into the light. It was vast, its body covered in armored plates black as void, its claws longer than spears, its eyes glowing red with hunger. Every step cracked the floor, every breath spread heat like fire. This was no beast. This was a living nightmare. Alien students screamed, some fainted, others pressed against the walls. Even counselors gripped their chairs with pale faces. The monster roared again, the sound echoing like thunder across worlds. And then the human girl entered. Lena walked forward with the same calm steps. No armor, no weapon, only her steady eyes. The monster roared and charged, its claws tearing the ground, its mouth opening wide enough to swallow her whole. The arena shook. Energy fields flickered, dust rose in waves. But Lena did not run. She lifted her head and met the monster's gaze. For a heartbeat, the galaxy held its breath. Silence crushed the air. The monster froze, its claws still raised, its teeth inches from her, its red eyes locked into her calm human eyes. Then slowly, impossibly, the monster lowered its head, its massive body shaking. Its roar died in its throat, and it bowed. It bent lower and lower until its snout touched the ground before her feet. The arena exploded with gasps and screams. "No!" shouted an alien instructor. "It cannot be!" Another fell to his knees, whispering, "They are not prey. They are not prey." All across the galaxy, messages flew. The greatest predator has bowed. The words burned through every channel, shaking every empire. Lena stood in silence, her eyes never leaving the monster. She did not smile. She did not cry. She simply turned and walked away, the beast crawling behind her, submissive like a servant. The counselors were pale with fear. Their voices cracked. If one human child can tame the untamable, what will happen when all of humanity rises? The students whispered the truth none could deny now. Humans were not fragile. Humans were not weak. Humans were something beyond predator and prey, something primal, something unshakable. The galaxy had mocked them, underestimated them, tried to terrify them, but in the end, it was the galaxy itself that bowed. And so the legend began. the story of the human gaze that broke monsters, the story that spread across stars, the story that would forever change how the universe saw Earth.